Lola stood outside the pawn shop door, took a breath. The highway behind her wheezed with congestion, diesel fumes. It wasn't a bad day weather-wise, but the lack of tree cover made her squint. Her hand went to the yellow envelope in her pocket. How many people had been forced to go through this humiliation? A guy was smoking a cigarette outside the laundromat a few doors down. He looked over and scratched the side of his face. "Better hurry up, love," he said. "They might sell out of third-hand Furbies." Ignore him, she thought. Just get this over and done with. "Get it?" he said. "Remember those creepy little fuckers?" She pushed the door open to the pawn shop. It was dark and appeared to be empty. Her eyes adjusted and she made out the bric-a-brac in the cabinets, computer monitors, printers, running shoes, cricket bats, an ornate wooden clock, rows of garish rings and earrings, weird junk that had accumulated like hair in a plug hole. Each item either stolen, deceased estate, or pawned by someone desperate. How many schmucks had come in here trying to raise a few bucks to make rent? She frowned at the thought and felt a pang of hunger. Just get this over and done with, she reminded herself. "Afternoon." A woman in her 50s stepped out from the back of the shop. She wore a sunflower dress and big yellow glasses. "I'm Janet. How can I help you?" "Lola McKenzie," she said. "We spoke on the phone?" "Oh, yes, Lola." Janet was all smiles until she remembered to frown. "How's your dad?" Desperate, she thought. "Fine." Janet sighed. "It's a tough situation. I didn't realise it was your mother's jewellery." "Would it have made a difference if you had?" Janet regarded her over her chunky glasses and seemed to think better of responding. She turned to a filing cabinet and opened a drawer, muttering to herself before plucking out a file. "McKenzie," Janet repeated, placing it on the counter. She licked her thumb and opened it. "Alan, that's your father?" "Yeah." Yes, that's right. The silver necklace, lovely piece. And you're here to collect it?" "No, I'm in the market for an old French horn. Got anything like that?" Janet gave a smile, filled with pity that made Lola feel an inch tall. "Cash?" In truth, Lola didn't even like the necklace. It was the sort of thing that would hang from the neck of a vacant-eyed manor house virgin who spent her days painting watercolours as she waited for a letter from her betrothed. But it was an anchor to a memory of her mother, of better times. It should be at home, not in some dusty pawnshop display case next to an old Game Boy and a collection of glass cats. "Yep, cash." "Very well." Janet trailed off as she ran a finger down a column in the accounts book. "Yes, that'll be $300. Lola slid the envelope onto the table. Her father had pawned it for $250 only weeks ago, a $50 fee to temporarily store his wife's jewellery in a pawn shop. Janet removed the cash from the envelope and counted each note, laying them on the desk like a poker dealer. $300, she said, satisfied. "All right, then." She stood and made her way into the back of the shop, the cash tight in her hand. Lola watched the bright yellow notes as they went. A week's worth of food, a tank of fuel, a tiny foothold on her dad's credit card bills. For a moment she considered taking the cash back. Yeah, the necklace was important, but they needed cash. She could just sell it, use the $300 for something practical. No. She shook the thought away. It was her mum's. There had to be a line somewhere. Janet returned with a thick plastic bag, the necklace balled up in the bottom, its pearls glinting under the shop lights. It looked like a piece of crime scene evidence. "You know, we had some good interest in this piece," she said. "Maybe we could work something out. Perhaps I undercooked the original valuation a touch." "Oh? 300? I don't know what I was thinking." Lola noticed she hadn't removed the necklace from the bag just yet. Indeed, she'd drawn the bag closer to her body, as though it was hers. "It did seem a little low," Lola said. Janet leaned in. "Fancy a refreshment? I've got a Sauv Blanc in the fridge that'll knock your socks off."